Alright you all, it is time for another Will I Buy, talking about new makeup releases. I got my coffee here and we are all ready to go, and I'm excited to dive into sharing with you guys about the new releases that I have seen coming out. One of them shocked me so much, I can't wait to share it with you guys. But before we get into it, I do want to say, either verbally or like I usually do on the screen right here, but this is inspired by Samantha March, Angelica Nyquist, and Amy Loves Makeup. They all do this sort of thing where they sit down and talk about the new makeup releases that are coming out and whether they plan to buy it or not, and just honestly their first impression thoughts about it and that sort of thing. So that is where I got the inspiration, and I will leave them linked down below. I feel like I haven't said that on camera in a while, so I want to make sure I do that. So let's go ahead and just get right to it and let's jump right in. Quick shout out, if you like this makeup look, I actually just used the Wilderness palette from Beauty Babe. I already have a video up on my channel, so if you want to see it, I will leave it linked up here. I did create a really fun look. Today's look is also super fun, so quick shout out to that. This palette has me so inspired. I'm so excited about it. Anyway, just want to throw that out there if you were curious what's on my eyes, and just to shout out that I do have a video if you want to see it applied to the eyes and my first initial reaction. But let's go ahead and let me go ahead and pull up my saved folder here, and then we're going to jump into the first thing that absolutely shocked me. I just saw it this morning when I woke up and I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. But this is a sneak peek from Urban Decay Cosmetics, and this is the Naked Cyber palette. Honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, wait, is this kind of like a joke? Is this April Fool's? Like, what's going on here? But no, as far as I can tell, this is going to be coming, and it's called the Cyber palette, as I said, the Naked Cyber palette, and it is 12 shades pastels. Urban Decay is trying to do pastels. I don't know about you, but I think Urban Decay trying to do pastels is going to be like Colourpop trying to do pastels when they did the Candyland. For whatever reason, that's the first thing that came to mind. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. But yeah, they're trying to do pastels. They have metallics in there, duochromes. Duochromes I think is a little intriguing, but here's what it looks like. And I don't know about you, this just looks like pastel versions of beige. I mean, granted, I do think the picture is, you know, a little bit edited and not true to what it will look like. So I'm trying to hold total judgment till I see an actual good picture of it. But honestly, like, just this first picture and just seeing the cover, like, you know, seeing the artwork design, I know it's not going to be anything up my alley. So I can just tell you guys right up front, I'm not going to be picking this up. I will be curious to watch other people get it and see how Urban Decay does with pastels. But like I said, I feel like we're going to get another Candyland 2.0 with this release. That's just me. Let me know your thoughts down below. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of information on it. It's a leaked photo and whatnot. Oh, my eye is tearing. Why do my allergies have to do this to me when I have a pretty eye look? But yeah, not a whole lot of information, but I was so excited when I saw that I had to share. So Naked Cyber is coming, and we're going to see how Urban Decay does pastels. Maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe it'll be, you know, stunning and out of the park, you know, like Give Me Glow. We shall see. Next, moving on, we have OPV Beauty. This is New Bloom. This is really intriguing. Like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is really pretty. I like the mix of colors. There's a lot of dark in here. Like, I like the whole palette as a whole, how colorful it is, but when I actually sit down and say, okay, like, what are the colors? What am I going to go to? There's a decent amount of purple in here, which, if you're new to my channel, I'm not the biggest, craziest fan of purple. So that right there is kind of like, oh, okay, there's going to be a lot of purpley looks. So going past that to, like, the blues and the greens, there's not as much. There's a lot of, like, oranges, reddish tones, which is very pretty. But also, too, I feel like maybe a tad bit repetitive, especially with these purples up here. These more, I guess, orange and peach, there's differences there. I don't know, for whatever reason, when I look at this, I'm not entirely sold. I'm like 75% sold on this palette. If someone was to like give this to me, or like I got in a BoxyCharm or something like that, I would definitely try this palette. But as far as like spending my money on it, I don't think I'm going to pick it up just because I'm not 100% sold. I have so many palettes to go through. I feel like I say this every week. So if a palette doesn't 100% sell me on it, just like, you know, catch my attention and I can't stop thinking about it or I can't let it go, I'm gonna try to let it pass. So for me, that's what this one is. I do think it's pretty. I think it's a beautiful release from OPV Beauty. I'm very intrigued and curious to try OPV Beauty, but I don't think this is the palette for me, so I'm gonna pass. Next down from Buxom, they're gonna be launching Spiced Up Full On Plumping Lip Gloss Collection. It's like four like neutral and like, you know, brownish shades. I think it's really pretty. I like their collection. I have some of their like plumping lip gloss, and I actually do like it, which is rare for me to like a lip gloss, especially a plumping one, but I don't mind this one. I would be tempted to like pick up one just because I love like a brownie type of neutral gloss. That has always been very pretty to me. I think I would probably pick up the Pumpkin Chai Latte or maybe even the Spiced Vanilla Latte. Those two are really calling to me, but I don't plan to pick up any right now. But I do think these are pretty. I like a good brown, like very sheerish type of lip color. It's always intrigued me. I always thought it was very pretty. DandyLions Co is going to be launching new liquid eyeshadows on the 14th. There are 3 different colors, it looks like: Grass Whistle, Cosmo, and Cerulean. I'm sorry about that. They look really pretty. They look promising. I don't think I'm going to be picking any up just because it seems more of like a subtle shimmer. I mean, it doesn't look that subtle, but there's nothing like super metallic-y looking in the pictures. That's what I look for. And also too, I'm not someone who's really drawn to cream shadows. So for me, I try to talk myself out of a cream shadow if I can, simply because I just don't use it that much. So for this, I feel like I can talk myself out of because it seems really pretty. Not saying it's not, but it's not exactly the finish that I tend to prefer and go for. So I feel like even if I were to get them, I wouldn't use them. I wouldn't get a lot of good use out of them, and because they're creams, they're gonna have a relatively short lifespan, so it's gonna be a pass for me, but I definitely wanted to share it to let you guys know something new from DandyLions Co coming out soon. Alright, next up we have the Witching Hour collab between Copacetic Cosmetics and M. Jones 5018. I believe they've done a collab before. It was like an all shimmer palette if I remember right, so this is another collab, and it has a matte in there, a purple matte. The shimmers look really pretty. I've heard that Copacetic Cosmetics, especially like the bottom one, is very chunky, like their formulas can be very chunky and flaky, but the top two look really nice and smooth, so that looks very pretty. The top three I feel like would make a really pretty eye look. I'm not super tempted though, just because color story wise, the green and like that white shade is really the only ones that are like really calling to me, but I do think it's a pretty quad. Just for me personally, it's an easy pass, but if you like purples and greens, this would be one to look into. Okay, next up I want to touch on this really quick. This is from Zeesea Cosmetics. I feel like I don't really mention them much, but they launch not infrequently, and every time they launch something, it's just breathtaking how beautiful it is. And this is the new lipstick from them. Even taking out the cover out of the picture, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Look at that dragon. Oh, so beautiful. But even taking that out, look at the lipstick. Like, look at the etch work in that lipstick. That is beautiful. I cannot get over how gorgeous it is. It's really, really pretty. I don't plan to pick it up, but I had to mention it here because anytime I'm scrolling and I see a new release from them, I'm always amazed by how beautiful the packaging is, and I kind of want it just for the packaging, but I'm not going to buy it just for the packaging, but I definitely am tempted simply for the packaging. Playing in Makeup by Yolondo is coming out with a Glitter Obsession 2 very, very soon. I like this green one up in the corner, but I've said it before on here, I am not someone who is into pressed glitter, so for me, this is a very easy pass. And also, too, I feel like color-wise, it's a little bit, I don't know, it kind of all blends together. Maybe it's just picture-wise, trying to take a picture of glitters is hard to really make it, help it, like, depict what it actually looked like, so maybe that has something to do with it, but there's just a lot in here that looks like samey when I really get up close and I'm looking at it. Like these two glitters up here, I really don't see a difference with. You know, some of the darker ones down here, the blues over here, the greens. There's just a lot that looks very, very close. But again, it's an easy no for me because I'm not into glitters. But I do want to mention it because I do really like Playing in Makeup by Yolondo. And oh, by the way, while we're here, let's go ahead and talk about her other release. I think I saved it later on, but we're going to talk about it now. She's coming out with a mixture collection. Look at these palettes. These are little 5-pan palettes, and they are really tempting me. Let me know if you want me to pick some up. I think the ones that I am trying to talk myself out of, but I have a hard time talking myself out of, are, of course, this green grungy quad. I kind of wanted to compare it to other green quads, or not quads, but other green small palettes in my collection, because this one definitely makes me think of like an extended version of the e.l.f. one. Kind of like the Midas one. There's so many palettes that I feel like have these tones that I'm tempted to see how close they are and, you know, formula wise how they compare. So if you'd like to see that video, let me know that. What else really attracted me? Oh, this kind of blue and green one up here I was really into. Let me swipe and see. Unexpected, definitely not into. Royalty, not into. Pretty, it's pretty. I was kind of tempted just for the yellows, but it's a pass. Mixture, this is the one that really has my attention. That green with all those blues, and so many mattes with just the one shimmer. I'm very tempted. We have Amanda. That's a pass. Yo-Yo, pass. Upward, this one intrigues me just because it's a very unique color story. I'd be curious to see what type of looks I could get from it. I don't know, it's kind of like that weird intrigued because it's a very weird color story for me personally. When I see it, it's very unexpected, but it intrigues me enough to want to get it to try it. So that one I'm kind of, I'm pretty tempted, and then there were more. Here we go. We have Basic. This one also very tempted, very bright, very colorful. I think it's pretty. Then we have Awesome, easy pass for me. Friends, this is the one I was talking about before. Very tempted if you guys want to see comparisons. Faith is an easy pass for me. Expression, I'm tempted. This one I think is very pretty. It's very monochromatic, but it has that good gradient to it, so I could get a lot of really pretty monochromatic looks with it, I feel like. So I'm tempted. Exchange, easy pass. Capture, this would be a fun neutral palette for me because it has that pop of like orangey mustard in there. And yeah, I think that is it. So 14 mini palettes, so many in here that I'm tempted by. Let me see if they have a price. I don't think she does yet, and I forget, I don't think, did she even say when they launch? I'm not sure. I don't think she has a date, at least she didn't say here. Let me see in the comments. No date yet, so I'm not sure when these launch, but let me know if you guys would like to see them on my channel, and that can help me decide, because this collection, these little quads or these little palettes, I'm definitely absolutely tempted by. Okay, next up, Morphe. Morphe is collaborating with Too Faced. No, I'm just kidding, not Too Faced, but definitely when I look at this palette, I think of Too Faced. But this is Morphe's Cherry Coke collaboration. I guess it's a collaboration, but it's their Cheerfully Cherry Artistry palette. I see Too Faced every time I look at this, and I feel like this would have been a pretty cool release for Too Faced to have done with Coke if they had done that, Coca-Cola, but it's with Morphe, so it's not Too Faced. I'm just throwing them in there because that's all I see. But it's Morphe and Coca-Cola, but here's what it looks like. It's a no for me. It's just, I feel like it's unnecessary big for the color story it is. It's a very monochromatic palette, but you know, when I actually look at it, I feel like a lot of it is unnecessary. It could have been maybe a 9 pan or maybe a little bit bigger than that, but definitely didn't need to be this large, because if you get really up close, I feel like there's just those beiges. Look at these, you know, the shimmers in the middle there. I don't know, it just feels a little unnecessary. And it's not really my color story too, so keep that in mind. This color story, these colors aren't really speaking to me. They don't grab me or anything like that. They're definitely just not my preference when it comes to colors, so it's an easy pass for me. This is going to retail for $24. It's an easy pass. Let me know what you think though, because I just can't stop thinking Too Faced. Okay, so Colourpop is launching something new. Of course, like, it's another week, it's gotta be another couple Colourpop releases, so we're gonna start with the first one that I say, but this is the Y2K Forever collection, and it's like a pastel, colorful pastel palette. New Millennium is like this peachy pink. Then we have this one up here, which is Digital Playground, which is like a purple mauve. No, not really mauve, but like a purpley toned, cool toned color. Maybe purple mauve, I don't know. Oh wait, no, I think Digital Playground is this one, which is like the green purple. Oh, maybe this one is New Millennium, because that word kind of looks like New Millennium, and then maybe this one down here is Just a Glitch. I don't know the names. Anyway, it's those three. They're all an easy pass for me. I'm halfway tempted with the color story for this one, the Digital Playground, but like I said, Colourpop and pastels don't really work very well in my personal opinion. They're colorful, like super intense colors, kind of, you know, dulled down when I actually use them, so I never am tempted to try their pastels, because I just, in my personal opinion, would be a dud for me. So this is an easy pass. Looks like they have butterfly clips, easy pass. They have highlighters, a purple and a pink. I think it's, you know, would be really pretty if you like colorful highlighters. It's going to be a pass for me. And then they have super shock shadows. Pass. I'm not into the cream shadows. They have like lip stains, an easy pass. And then so juicy glosses. I have like a hair on my nose. It's really itching me. I'm sorry. The glosses are an easy pass. So yeah, all around, super easy pass. But while we're at it, let's go ahead and talk about this, because it's another Colourpop release, and they're doing a bunch of the Super Shock shadows. This is the Disney Princess Super Shock Shadow Collection, 12 shadows, or 12 shades, and yeah. I don't really like the cream shadows, as I've already said, so it's an easy pass in that respect. But even taking that out of the equation, I feel like this is just a, I don't know, so-so collection. Like, these two colors in the middle look super similar. And then when you get to some of these, I don't know, they're just so similar, I feel like it's unnecessary. Like, if I saw this collection, if I was into Super Shocks, I would want like one, maybe two, but not all of them. I don't know. This is a miss for me, but again, it could mainly be just because it is Super Shocks, and I'm really not into that formula. So anyway, it's an easy pass for me. Another Colourpop release, another week of Colourpop releases that are another pass for me. Makeup Maniac Cosmetics is launching some new things. This is a Raging Rose eyeshadow palette. Well, not new things. These are relaunched and remastered, I guess you could say, redone. So they had these before, but I think they discontinued them, and then they're bringing them back with a new and improved formula, I guess you could say, or just new packaging, something like that. It says relaunched and mastered is what it's kind of hashtag. It has 9 shades, 5 mattes, 3 shimmers, and 1 glitter. Now available for $20. Yeah, it's an easy pass for me. It has a glitter in there, and it's only a 9 pan palette, which is a little But that aside, I'm not into the color story. So this is an easy pass for me, but I'm going to scroll down because we also have one more, which is more up my alley. This is another one from Makeup Maniac Cosmetics. This is the Blue Screw eyeshadow palette. Has been re-released and mastered. I don't remember this on their site before, but you know, I'm very new to the brand. But anyway, they have 12 shadows, 6 mattes, 5 shimmers, 1 glitter, $25.99. So I like this. This is a bigger palette and only one of them is glitters, but it still seems a little bit too samey. Like, I don't know. There's something about this where I feel like, not that they need a more diversity between the shadows, because it is a blue monochromatic palette, but maybe this one could have been smaller. Because I feel like with this palette, looking at the colors, I feel like it's all the looks that you would do would be just so close. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I mean, I feel like they have a good mix from very dark to very light. Keep into the blue with a little bit of green in there for interest. They have a nice mix of shimmers and mattes. So I don't know. I feel like they did well. But when I look at the swatches, that's when I'm just like, it's just too much the same. So I don't know. Something about this is just an easy pass for me. But I do think it's a pretty blue monochromatic palette if you're into blues. And it even maybe gets a little lavender. It kind of looks more purpley in some of the pictures. So maybe down here, yeah, that looks a little more purple. So it's kind of like a green to blue to purple. That's pretty. I feel like it will create pretty looks, but for whatever reason, when I look at the swatches, I'm just like, nah, too close. So I'm going to be passing, but I think it is pretty. Okay, this is from a new brand, but I saved it because of this picture right here. But this is Bonadillo Beauty, Bone Idol. Sorry, I didn't realize those were two words. I was trying to throw them all together. Me and pronouncing words is embarrassing sometimes. Anyway, moving on. This palette right here. I know I can't pronounce the brand, but look at this palette. I am very intrigued by this palette. When I saw this scrolling, I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's actually kind of pretty. There's something very unique about the color story. Like there's those cool tone, it's like a cool tone, muted, colorful palette that intrigues me. I'm not planning to pick it up, like it hasn't sold me to that level, but I'm definitely like, it caught my eye. I did the double take as Samantha March says, and I'm intrigued. Like, I don't know, what do you guys think? I just think that's a really neat color story. So I wanted to mention them in this Will I Buy, even though I messed up your brand name. I am so sorry. Bone Idol, because I think they did something very unique and very pretty with this. I'd love to see it swatched. I don't know if they updated with swatches. Is this it? It's very like cool tone and soft, but it's still colorful. And I think they did a fantastic job putting this together. So it's a pass, but I had to give them a shout out and say, a job well done. I think this is fun. I like it. Okay, so Profusion is collaborating with the Mean Girls, and it's a whole bunch of things. So we have this palette right here, or these palettes I should say right here. I do not know Mean Girls, so I'm gonna be very like not aware of the storyline or any of the girls, so I'm sorry right up front for that. But they have Katie Heron, I'm sorry, a very neutral type of palette. Then they have Karen Smith, which is like a cool tone silver gold. I see some gold in there. Gretchen Winers, which I kind of like, but it's still like so heavy on the neutrals with a couple pops of color in there. And then Regina George, which is an easy pass for me. It's like purple, or it's like, you know, hot pink and purples and whatnot. Let me see if they have any better pictures. They also have these brushes. I really like Profusion brushes, so I have confidence in the fact that these are probably really nice and probably not that expensive, which I love about Profusion, but they're all an easy pass for me. Let's see what else is in this collection. It looks like they have a face palette, You Glow Glam Cocoa. Easy pass for me, I just don't need them right now. They have lashes, pass. Looks like they have a setting spray, and I thought they had a big book. Where was that? Let me see if I can find it. Okay, yeah, Trend Mood has it here. They have a bigger book, so they have all these little ones like I was showing you over here. But then they also have this really big one, which honestly the big one is what intrigued me. If I was into trying a really big palette, I'd probably pick this up because I like the array of colors. They have those yellows in there, then the oranges, they have a pink and purple, then they have the blue and the green row. Like I like how they have everything broken up. It looks like they have 3 at least glitters in there, maybe 4, which I wouldn't use, but they have a lot of mattes in there, which you guys know intrigue me. And yeah, I'm very much intrigued by this palette, but it's so large, and like I said, I'm really trying to talk myself out of really big palettes, so it's going to be a pass for me. But if I had 0 palettes to try and I was itching to, you know, get a palette that would help me be creative and whatnot, I think I would pick this up because again, also Profusion is a more affordable brand. This one I'm not mad at. I'm kind of tempted, but I am going to pass. Violet Voss is going to be launching a new palette. This is the Care Bears palette. It's really cute. It's like it's an interesting mix of very like colorful, like it's a rainbow, but then it has those pops, I guess you could say, of the neutral down here at the bottom to keep it kind of like a grounded neutral palette, but still like super colorful. So it's one of those interesting mixes when it comes to palettes. I think it's neat. I'm kind of tempted. Here are swatches of it. It's got a decent array of matte to shimmer. I think it's pretty, but like in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty. I think that's a nice color story, but it doesn't like get me excited. It doesn't get me like inspired to create looks. It doesn't really like grab me like I like a palette to do for me to buy something. So it's going to be a pass for me, but I'm intrigued. I think they did a neat job with it. I wasn't ever super into Care Bears, so I don't know if this is like very on theme for them, but I think it's a very colorful palette, and I like the packaging and all that. I like the color in the packaging. It's very pretty, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm not totally sold, so I'm just like, oh, that's cute, but it's a pass. Okay, I Heart Revolution is collaborating with Pebbles cereal. The most unexpected collaboration, but so on trend for Makeup Revolution or I Heart Revolution, because they do those interesting, they have, you know, with I Heart Revolution, they have all those cutesy, very interesting kind of themes to their makeup launches. So this makes sense for I Heart Revolution, but totally unexpected. So let's get in close here. You guys know the palettes are what I am most interested in. Fruity Pebbles is a very neat palette. It's very hard for me to like focus on the colors because the background is just so chaotic. For me personally, I just look at that, I'm like, oh my goodness. But it is really pretty. I think it has a nice array of colors. It's hard to see like how many mattes to shimmers. Here we go. There are, but it looks like a decent amount of each, you know, matte and shimmer ratio. And knowing it's I Heart Revolution, I know it's not going to be super expensive, but I don't plan to pick it up. Just again, I'm trying to talk myself out of palettes. This I think is cute. I think it's pretty, but it doesn't grab me in that way. And then the Cocoa Pebbles, of course, it's just a more neutral-ish palette, so it's an easy pass for me. What else do they got? They got lip oils, looks like, lip glosses, pass. Highlighters, it's a pass. I don't like the ones that are like separated into color like that. I just like swirl mine all together and be done with it. I don't want to have to do the work when I go to put my highlighter on. That's just me, but packaging wise, very, very cute. And then that's just a palette opening. So I think that's about it. Do they have brushes it looks like? Yeah, little brushes up there, cute. Don't plan to pick it up. But, and maybe even a makeup case, the Fruity Pebbles makeup case, or maybe the palette comes in that. I'm not sure, but very cute release. I think it's very, I don't know, it just makes me smile when I look at it. I'm not tempted to buy it. Like I said, I'm not tempted to pick it up, but it's a launch that when I saw, I was like, oh, that's cute. I like it. Ace Beaute is launching something new. I feel like we haven't heard from them in a while. This is the Vintage Floral palette, and it is like a neutral palette, but it has those pops of like the grungy tones, the mustards, and then more of that bright orange over there too. So this is a very like me type of neutral palette because it's very neutral. You can get more of those, you know, brown toned, gold tone looks, but you have the pop of interest with the grungy side, with that pop of, what is it, orange pansy and the begonia and stuff like that. So this is an interesting neutral palette for me personally when I look at it. I think it's very nice and pretty, but it's going to be an easy pass for me just because I'm not into, you know, buying neutral palettes right now. But I'm kind of tempted, but honestly, if I really like sat down and said, what are the shadows that are tempting me? It would be simply the tansy, the dahlia, and the orange pansy. And I don't need to buy a big old palette like this for 3 shadows, so it's a pass. Another new brand to be, this is 90s Babies Cosmetics. They're launching a pastel palette, which is around the theme of the precious moments or precious memories. This kind of just like struck a chord with me just like childhood-wise because my mom was very into the precious moments children growing up. So I remember seeing a lot of like their pictures, and she had done cross stitch of these characters and whatnot. And so anytime I see them, I just get taken back to when I was like a 5-year-old in my home growing up. So it has a lot of those special memories to me. So honestly, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, makes me feel like I'm 5 years old, you know, sitting watching my mom cook dinner. It was very sweet in that respect. But getting over to the palette and the color story, I think it's a cute pastel palette, but it's going to be a pass for me. I feel like the swatches, I don't know how strong they would be showing up on my skin. I feel like some of the swatches are a little bit, I mean, they're very pastelish. And for me, if you guys are new to me, when I want a pastel, I want a very vibrant and intense and bold pastel. So I feel like this would be just too like wash of color pastel for me. Also too, for whatever reason, I feel like the top shade and the second from the bottom look very, very close, but I don't think they should be. I guess they're these two right there, those pinky tones. I don't know. They're just a little too similar in the swatches. But anyway, it's a pass for me, but I had to share it here just because of the whole precious moments kind of theme of it that just took me back to when I was a little girl. All right, so Beauty Creations is going to be collaborating with La Stories. Oh, I don't know this creator. I'm so sorry. Louis Torres. Sorry, I could not get his handle. My internet's all of a sudden not working. But anyway, this is a new collab that's just launching or just dropped from Beauty Creations. And here is what it looks like. I think this is really pretty. Let me see if they have any details. August 19th, 10 a.m. it's launching. 1 eyeshadow palette, 1 face palette, and 2 lip sets. Face palette is going to be a pass. I do like that they have like a peachy tone for the blush. I feel like that's different for a face palette. They're always like pinky. So the peach aspect is neat. So anyway, nice color story there, but it's an easy pass. So talking about the palette, because the lips are also easy passes for me, I think he did a neat job putting this together with very neutrals with a lot of color. The bottom row, honestly, the 3 in the middle looks so similar. I wish there was more differentiation between those shimmers. But it's neat. I'm intrigued, but not enough to buy. So I think this is going to be an easy pass. I think the packaging-wise, they did a great job. Like, that looks super pretty. And then first off, like that yellow just pops from the palette and makes me go like, oh, you want this, right? But when I sit there and really look at it, it's like the yellow and that pop of blue at the bottom also that really grab me. And everything else is just like, okay, it's a nice palette. Like, I'm not saying it wouldn't create beautiful looks and very interesting and inspiring looks, but you know, just looking at it right here, it doesn't tempt me enough to buy it. So it's going to be a pass, but it is a really neat collaboration. All right, so those are all the new makeup releases that I'm going to talk about today and sharing with you guys if I will buy them or not. Let me know your thoughts down below. I feel like there was a lot of very unexpected releases this week that caught my attention, especially after last week. I feel like last week's new releases were just so, they were just, I don't know, I was kind of unimpressed with all the releases, I guess you could say. And then sitting down to do this video this week, I was just like, oh, like that's actually really cool. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of sort of tempted by that. I don't think I said yes to anything or like for sure anything, but there were definitely many things that made me do a double take, made me like look at it a little bit harder, made me really sit there and focus on the colors to see what I thought about them. So yeah, really fun and intriguing new makeup releases this week, which I'm always excited about. I like seeing new releases and what kind of captures my attention. Per usual, any late breaking news are over here. If I missed anything or if anything came out after I filmed and before I uploaded and finished editing this video, I always like to stick it here and let you guys know my first impression thoughts. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this week's video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if I missed any big releases that you want me to talk about, or any, you know, any brands that is launching something that you would like to hear my thoughts on. Maybe I don't know about the brand or I'm not aware of them. Feel free to let me know that down below in the comments and I can check them out and maybe mention it in a future video. But yeah, with all that said, I'm gonna go finish my coffee because I feel like I ignored it for most of this video and start editing this video. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to continue getting daily content from me, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKD92 over there. And yeah, I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.